Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel Coins Worth Million each and every one of you tuning in today. We are absolutely delighted to have you here, and I want to take this very special moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to all our new viewers, our loyal subscribers, and everyone who is joining this journey with us right now. This video is not just a simple start, it is the beginning of a meaningful connection between you and this channel. So let's get it started. The 10 Pfennig coin of 1980 from Germany is a fascinating artifact of European monetary history, and to understand it in full detail requires a careful journey through its origin, design, historical context, political background, minting process, variations, circulation, and its place in the numismatic world today. This coin, seemingly small in its physical form, carries with it the story of West Germany at a particular time in its post-World War II development, its economic strength, its role in Europe, and its cultural symbolism. Issued by the Federal Republic of Germany, West Germany, the 10 Pfennig coin in 1980 belonged to the Deutsche Mark system, which was introduced in 1948 and remained in circulation until the adoption of the euro in 2002. The coin had a face value of 10 hundredths of 1 Deutsche Mark, 10 German Pfennigs, meaning 10 Pfennigs equaled 1/10 of a mark, and 1 mark was composed of 100 Pfennigs, much like cents or to a dollar or pennies or to a pound. Although small in denomination, the 10 Pfennig was one of the most widely used and commonly exchanged coins of everyday German life, especially in the 1970s and 1980s, when the German economy was thriving, and daily purchases often involved such denominations. The 1980 issue stands out because it came during a decade of significant global change, when Germany's identity was firmly rooted in the strength of the Deutsche Mark, which itself became a symbol of post-war recovery, stability, and pride. The design of the 10 Pfennig coin from 1980 was simple yet elegant, meant to embody practicality, durability, and national symbolism. On the obverse front side, the coin prominently featured the denomination number 10, centered, with the word Pfennig written beneath it. This clear and bold inscription made the value unmistakable, ensuring that it was easily recognizable to citizens across the country regardless of literacy levels or cultural backgrounds. Surrounding the number on either side were 2 oak leaves, one on the left and one on the right, which symbolized strength, endurance, and German cultural heritage. The oak tree has long been a national symbol of Germany, associated with stability and unity, harkening back to Germanic traditions and used repeatedly in heraldry, military insignia, and currency. Above the number 10, near the rim of the coin, there was a small mint mark letter, which indicated the specific mint where the coin was produced. Germany used multiple mints, and each mint was represented by a letter: A. Berlin, D. Munich, F. Stuttgart, G. Karlsruhe, and J. Hamburg. Thus, depending on which mint produced the coin, a 1980 10 Pfennig could be marked with any of these letters. Collectors today often seek complete sets containing examples from all mints for a given year, and 1980 was no exception. The mint marks make each coin unique, and although they had identical designs, subtle variations in strike quality, finish, and circulation wear could make certain mint marks more desirable. On the reverse back side, the 10 Pfennig coin bore the official emblem of the Federal Republic of Germany, the stylized Bundesadler federal eagle, which is Germany's national coat of arms. This eagle design had been in use on coins since the early years of the Deutsche Mark and symbolized sovereignty, unity, and national pride. The eagle was drawn in a modern, minimalist style compared to older heraldic versions, reflecting the democratic and modern spirit of post-war West Germany. Surrounding the eagle was the inscription, Bundesrepublik Deutschland, Federal Republic of Germany, placed along the rim, identifying the issuing nation. This clear national marking was especially significant at a time when Germany was divided into West and East, and the West German state emphasized its legitimacy and modern democratic identity through such symbols. The eagle also represented continuity with older German traditions, as it had been used since the Holy Roman Empire, but the simplified design underscored the forward-looking spirit of the Federal Republic. The material composition of the 1980 10 Pfennig coin is equally important. Unlike higher denominations such as the 1 Deutsche Mark or 5 Deutsche Mark coins, which were made of more valuable alloys, the 10 Pfennig was minted in a cheaper but durable material suited for mass circulation. It was made primarily of a copper-covered steel alloy. Originally, in earlier years, 10 Pfennig coins were struck in brass, an alloy of copper and zinc, giving them a golden color. However, due to the rising cost of copper and changing minting strategies, later coins, including those from 1980, were minted with a steel core and a thin layer of brass plating, giving the coin a similar golden appearance while keeping production costs low. This ensured that millions of coins could be struck efficiently without burdening the minting budget. The coin measured 21.5 millimeters in diameter, weighed about 3.5 grams, and had a plain, smooth edge, unlike higher denominations that sometimes featured reading or lettering for anti-counterfeiting measures. The small size, weight, and plain edge made it a practical coin for everyday transactions, easy to handle, and familiar to the public. From a historical perspective, the 1980 10 Pfennig coin reflects West Germany during a period of economic and political stability. The late 1970s and early 1980s were years when the Deutsche Mark had become one of the strongest currencies in the world, often used as a reserve currency alongside the US dollar and Swiss franc. Germany's Wirtschaftswunder, economic miracle, of the post-war decades had solidified its reputation as an industrial powerhouse, and the strong Deutsche Mark became a source of national pride. Everyday coins like the 10 Pfennig served as tangible reminders of that stability and prosperity. People used them constantly in shops, markets, and public transportation, where small denominations were needed. For many West Germans, jingling a handful of Pfennig coins was part of ordinary life, whether buying a newspaper, a bus ticket, or small groceries. In 1980, West Germany was still deeply divided from East Germany, and the everyday currency of the West, represented by coins such as the 10 Pfennig, stood in stark contrast to the East German Mark, Mark der DDR, which had different designs, values, and symbolic meanings. Thus, even a small coin like this carried political weight, as it signified belonging to the Western democratic system, linked to NATO, the European Economic Community, later European Union, and the global free market. The minting and circulation numbers of the 1980 10 Pfennig coins were substantial. West Germany's mints produced millions of them, ensuring that they were widely available across the country. Because of their low value, they were heavily used, and most coins quickly showed signs of wear and tear, with the brass plating fading and steel cores sometimes visible after years of circulation. Uncirculated or proof specimens, however, were also produced in smaller numbers for collectors, packaged in official mint sets. These proof coins, with their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details, are far rarer and command higher value in numismatic markets today compared to circulated pieces. For regular circulation strikes, the value in today's market is usually modest, given the high mintage and common survival of the coins, but mint mark varieties or exceptionally well-preserved coins can be more valuable to collectors. The symbolism of the oak leaves on the obverse deserves further reflection. Oak has been deeply tied to German identity for centuries, appearing in poetry, literature, and national emblems. The oak tree symbolizes strength, endurance, loyalty, and the idea of rootedness in the land. In the context of the coin, the two oak leaves flanking the denomination could be seen as representing not just natural heritage but also the stability of the currency itself. By 1980, when inflation was troubling many countries around the world, West Germany was admired for maintaining monetary discipline through its Bundesbank policies. Thus, the 10 Pfennig coin symbolized not only a practical unit of money but also the credibility of the German financial system. In modern numismatics, the 1980 10 Pfennig coin continues to attract interest. For many collectors, it represents part of the final decades of the Deutsche Mark, before the transition to the euro in 2002. While common in circulated condition, coins in mint condition are those with rare proof finishes are sought after. Collectors also pursue full date and mint mark sets, which means having every year and every mint letter represented. The 1980 issue is often included in these sets, and numismatists pay attention to strike quality, mint luster, and the presence of errors. Some rare error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned planchettes, exist for the 10 Pfennig denomination, and such pieces can fetch significant premiums. In addition, for those who lived in West Germany during the 1980s, the coin carries strong nostalgia. It evokes memories of daily life, pocket change, and the tactile experience of a strong national currency that was later replaced but never forgotten. Culturally, the coin also serves as a reminder of a Germany that was still divided. In 1980, the Berlin Wall still stood, and East and West Germans lived in very different political and economic realities. The 10 Pfennig coin of the West symbolized stability and prosperity, while East Germans often struggled with shortages and less valuable currency. This difference became even more pronounced in the 1980s, and when the wall finally fell in 1989, coins like the 10 Pfennig took on a retrospective significance as markers of the West German system that had triumphed economically and politically. By the time Germany reunited in 1990, the 10 Pfennig was still in circulation, but within a little more than a decade, it would be phased out with the introduction of the euro in 2002. Thus, the 1980 coin is part of the larger story of transition, from post-war recovery to division, prosperity, reunification, and European integration. Today, when one holds a 1980 10 Pfennig coin, one holds a piece of that history, a small golden-colored disc that once moved through the hands of millions of West Germans, that jingled in the pockets of workers, students, and children, that carried the eagle and oak leaves as enduring symbols of identity, and that represented the strength of a nation rebuilding and asserting itself on the world stage. For numismatists, historians, and ordinary people alike, the coin remains both a collectible and a cultural memory, bridging the everyday life of 1980 with the broader sweep of German and European history. Next coin. The 10 Pfennig coin of 1981 from West Germany is a small but deeply meaningful artifact in the history of European currency, embodying not only the practical role of money in daily life but also the political, economic, and cultural realities of Germany during the early 1980s. Though its face value was small, equal to 1/10 of a Deutsche Mark, it played a major role in the daily economy of West Germans, who relied on coins of this type to make countless small purchases, from buying a tram ticket to paying for a newspaper or even using a public telephone. Yet beneath its modest denomination lies a world of significance. The coin reflects the strength of the Deutsche Mark, the symbolism of German heritage, the complexities of minting technology, and the deeper story of a divided Germany that in 1981 was still living under the shadow of the Berlin Wall. The 10 Pfennig coin of 1981 belongs to the long-running Deutsche Mark series that was introduced in 1948, following the devastating effects of World War II, and continued in circulation until the euro was adopted in 2002. This series, trusted by the public, became synonymous with economic stability and prosperity in West Germany, and the 10 Pfennig denomination, while small, was essential to the everyday functioning of that system. The 1981 issue stands as a representative of that era, a coin minted in huge numbers, circulated widely, and remembered fondly today both by collectors and by those who lived with it in daily life. The design of the 1981 10 Pfennig coin remained consistent with previous years, balancing simplicity with symbolic weight. On the obverse front, the denomination, 10, dominates the center, large and bold, immediately conveying its value. Beneath this number is the inscription, Pfennig, the unit of subdivision of the Deutsche Mark, which itself derived from medieval German coinage traditions going back centuries. Flanking the number on both sides are two stylized oak leaves, one on the left and one on the right, gently curving upward toward the rim. These oak leaves were not chosen by chance, they carry deep meaning within German culture. The oak tree is a long-standing national symbol of strength, endurance, loyalty, and continuity. In coins, military insignia, and literature, oak leaves had often been used to signify resilience and connection to the land. By placing oak leaves on such a widely circulated coin, the Federal Republic of Germany was reinforcing the symbolic message of national unity and strength. Above the denomination number sits the mint mark, a small letter such as A, D, F, G, or J, indicating which of the 5 German mints produced the coin: A for Berlin, D for Munich, F for Stuttgart, G for Karlsruhe, and J for Hamburg. Each year's production was divided among these mints, and for collectors today, the mint mark gives the coin a distinct identity, making it possible to build complete collections with examples from all mints of a given year. The obverse design, therefore, was practical, clear, and nationally symbolic all at once. On the reverse back, the coin carried the official emblem of the Bundesrepublik Deutschland, Federal Republic of Germany, the stylized Bundesadler, or federal eagle. This eagle, simplified in form compared